In the United States of America, where freedom and democracy are supposed to reign supreme, there have been times when the very fabric of our society has been torn apart by corruption, deceit, and betrayal. Scandals that have shaken the foundations of trust and integrity, leaving lasting scars on our collective psyche. Join us as we delve into the darkest corners of American history, exploring the most shocking and far-reaching scandals that have shaped our nation's past. These scandals are a reminder that even in the most powerful nation on earth, corruption can strike anywhere and anytime. So sit back, relax, and get ready to uncover the most shocking secrets in American history. The Medicare fraud scandal refers to a widespread and complex scheme of fraudulent activity involving the Medicare program, which is a government-funded healthcare insurance program for people 65 and older, certain younger people with disabilities, and people with end-stage renal disease, permanent kidney failure requiring dialysis or a transplant. The scandal involved Medicare's payment system, which relies heavily on fee-for-service payments to healthcare providers. This system creates an incentive for providers to bill Medicare for more services than were actually provided, or to bill for services that were not medically necessary. The fraud scheme involved a variety of techniques. Providers would bill Medicare for services that were never provided or were not medically necessary. Providers would bill Medicare for more expensive procedures or services than were actually performed. Providers would bill Medicare for services provided to patients who did not receive them. The scandal was uncovered in the early 2000s, and it is estimated that Medicare lost billions of dollars as a result of the fraud. The scam involved numerous healthcare providers, including doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies, as well as organized crime groups. The Wells Fargo fake account scandal refers to a banking fraud scandal that occurred at Wells Fargo and Company, one of the largest banks in the United States. The scandal involved the opening of millions of unauthorized bank and credit card accounts in customers' names without their consent, as well as the creation of fake email addresses and PINs. The scandal was uncovered in 2016 by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which launched an investigation into allegations of widespread fraud at Wells Fargo. Between 2011 and 2015, Wells Fargo employees opened approximately 3.5 million deposit accounts, including checking and savings accounts, in customers' names without their consent. Additionally, employees opened over 5.3 million credit card accounts, resulting in millions of dollars in unauthorized charges and fees. The bank also created fake email addresses and PINs to access customers' online banking accounts. The scam was committed by thousands of Wells Fargo employees, who were pressured to meet aggressive sales targets and bonuses. In September 2016, Wells Fargo agreed to pay a $185 million settlement with regulators to resolve the allegations. The BP oil scandal refers to a series of environmental disasters, cover-ups, and regulatory violations by British Petroleum that led to one of the largest environmental disasters in history. The scandal began with the 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, which was caused by a combination of human error, design flaws, and regulatory failures. On April 20, 2010, an explosion and fire occurred on the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, operated by BP, in the Gulf of Mexico. The disaster killed 11 workers and injured many others. Over 4.9 million barrels, 205.8 million gallons of crude oil spilled into the Gulf over 87 days, causing widespread environmental damage and economic losses. In the aftermath of the disaster, BP was accused of engaging in a cover-up to downplay the severity of the spill and to avoid taking responsibility for the disaster. The U.S. government's Minerals Management Service, responsible for regulating offshore drilling, was criticized for its lack of oversight and lax regulations. The Obama administration was also criticized for its slow response to the disaster and its handling of the subsequent investigation. BP has faced numerous lawsuits, fines, and penalties. The Stanford Financial Group, SFG, Ponzi scheme was a massive investment fraud that operated from the 1990s until 2009. It was one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history, with estimated losses of over $7 billion. Robert Allen Stanford, the founder and CEO of SFG, promised investors unusually high returns on certificates of deposit and other investments. He claimed that SFG's investments were backed by a portfolio of high-yield bonds and other securities, which he claimed were virtually risk-free. In reality, SFG did not have the assets or collateral to back up these claims. Instead, Stanford used money from new investors to pay returns to earlier investors, creating a classic Ponzi scheme. In February 2009, the SEC launched an investigation into SFG after receiving complaints from investors. In June 2009, Stanford was arrested and charged with fraud and conspiracy by the SEC and the FBI. In March 2012, Stanford was convicted of masterminding the Ponzi scheme and was sentenced to 110 years in prison without parole. And that's a wrap on our countdown of history's biggest scandals in the US of all time. We've covered some of the most shocking and influential scandals to shake the nation. These scandals have shaped our country's history, revealing corruption, deceit, and even criminal activity at the highest levels of power. But as we've seen, these scandals also serve as important reminders of the importance of accountability, transparency, and the rule of law. So let this video be a reminder to always remain vigilant and question those in power. For only by learning from our past can we build a better future. Thanks for watching our countdown of history's biggest scandals in the US of all time. If you liked this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more historical content. And if you want to see more scandalous stories, let us know in the comments below.